moving up to 25 miles an hour in the lower part of the Mississippi. In Florida, you have a good amount of winds coming from the east northeast, blowing up to 25 miles an hour. But in a few places like the Florida Keys, up to 30 miles an hour. In Oklahoma, you have counterclockwise flow of winds, but they're blowing up to 25 miles an hour regardless, though. In Texas, you have winds coming from the northwest, blowing up to 25 miles an hour on the western side of the state. The eastern and coastal part of the state, winds are coming from the Gulf, but then they shift briefly to the east and then back to Oklahoma. But regardless, much of the winds are blowing at no more than 30 miles an hour. In the Midwest, though, in places like the Ohio Valley, winds are coming from the east, though, although it's a little light and variable in Ohio. Michigan is lower Michigan as well. Wisconsin and upper Michigan, winds are moving to the north. Much of east of the Mississippi, winds are blowing up to 25 miles an hour. Just to the west, though, you have Minnesota, the Dakotas, winds are moving to the north-northwest at up to 30 miles an hour. Nebraska and Iowa, winds are coming from the east, but then they shift to the north-northwest at up to 25 miles an hour, though. In Missouri, though, you have winds, and as well as Kansas, they're only blowing mostly to the west at up to 25 miles an hour. Then we go to the west, though. Let's start off in the northwestern part of the country. In the northern Rockies, looks like so much of the winds are blowing to the north, but some places have light and variable winds. Other places do have strong winds. They're blowing up to 20 to 30 miles an hour, but in some cases in east central Wyoming, they're blowing up to past 30 miles an hour. In the Pacific Northwest, though, winds are coming from the Pacific. They end up shifting to the north and then back to the northwest. In Oregon, though, you have very strong winds. On the eastern side, they're blowing up to 40 miles an hour in southeastern Oregon, and almost similarly along the Oregon coastline, as well as parts of Washington state on the coast, though. Let's see, we go down to the southwest. Oh yeah, wow, let's not forget to mention that you do have 48 degrees in your area, which translates to about probably 9 degrees Celsius. And winds in your area, they're only blowing up to 10 miles an hour to the north, though. In the southwestern part of the U.S., winds are somewhat light and variable, but they look like as though they're coming from the Gulf of California. Then they shift back to the southeast, though, and yet they're blowing up to 25 miles an hour. Colorado, converging winds, though, blowing up to 25 miles an hour, but definitely in the northwestern corner of the state. Utah has winds moving to the northeast, blowing up around 20 to 30 miles an hour in some places, otherwise just light. Nevada, though, they have virtually north-northeastward winds. They're blowing around 20 to 30 miles an hour, maybe in northwestern Nevada. They're blowing around 40 miles an hour there. California, let's start off with Northern California, where winds are coming from the coast, but they're blowing to the northeast. Yet winds, they're blowing in some places up to 40 miles an hour, but other places just up to 20. Central California, still some onshore winds, but otherwise in Central Valley, they do have some light winds, but definitely strong winds in the Sierra Nevadas, moving to the northeast at up to 30 miles an hour. Southern California has winds that are coming from the coast as well, but they're blowing up to 25 miles an hour. Then they shift to the north once it gets to the southern part of Nevada, though, like Las Vegas. Let's start off in the northeast. Let's talk temperatures. Okay, so we got temperatures in New England. They are in the mid-40s to mid-50s. Upstate New York and Pennsylvania, their temperature readings are in the upper 40s to mid-50s. In the greater New York City area, they're in the 50s. The Mid-Atlantic and West Virginia, temperatures there, they're in the 50s as well. Going down, you have the Carolinas, though. Temperatures there, they're in the upper 50s to mid-60s. In Georgia and Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, temperatures range from the mid-60s to the mid-70s. Arkansas has temperatures that are in the 60s. Louisiana, 70s. Let's see. In the northern half of Florida, temperatures are in the 70s. The southern half, they're in the 80s. Oklahoma has temperatures that are in the 60s. Panhandle of Texas, they're in the 60s. And in western and northeastern Texas, temperatures range from the upper 60s to mid-70s. In South Texas, temperatures range from the upper 70s to upper 80s. Throughout the Ohio Valley, you got temperatures that are in the 50s all across the region. In the Great Lakes states of Michigan and Wisconsin, temperatures there, they range from the mid-40s to the mid-low 50s. Mid-50s, I should say. In Minnesota, temperatures are in the 50s. North Dakota and South Dakota, their temperature readings are in the upper 50s to mid-70s. You got 59 in Leeds to 75 in Rapid City. In Iowa, temperatures are in the 50s, as well as Kansas. Missouri has temperatures in the 50s to mid-60s, mid-50s to mid-60s. Nebraska, temperatures range from the mid-50s to mid-70s. You got 57 in Grand Island. You got temperature readings that are 59 in Sioux City and Omaha, 61 in North Platte, 64 in Valentine, and 73 in Chadron. In Montana, you get temperatures there in the Rockies part of Montana. They are in the 50s to low 60s. Eastern Montana, generally, they're in the 60s. In northern Idaho, temperatures are in the 40s. The southern half, they're in the 50s to low 60s. In Wyoming, though, currently, throughout much of the state, temperatures there, they're in the upper 50s to upper 60s. That could change with all those temperatures start dropping in places like Yellowstone. Colorado has temperatures that are in the mid 50s to low 70s. Utah, though, temperatures there, they range from 57 in Vernal to 75 in St. George, but otherwise much of the state will be in the 60s. Nevada, though, temperatures there in the northern part of the state, they're in the mid-50s, temperatures there at 52 in Reno to 62 in Austin and Tonopah, 57 in Elko and 55 in Ely, 80 degrees in Las Vegas. In New Mexico, you have temperatures in the northern half of the state, they're in the 60s, southern half 70s. In the northern half of Arizona, temperatures range from the low 60s to mid 70s. Southern half, they're in the 80s to low 90s. You have 59 in Eureka. The San Francisco Bay Area has temperatures that are in the 60s. 75 in LA, 68 in San Diego, 88 in Indio. The northern half of the Bay Area of the Central Valley, California, they're in the 60s. Southern half, they're in the 70s. In the Pacific Northwest, temperatures in Oregon, let's say you have temperatures ranging from the low 40s to the mid 50s. In Washington State, temperatures range from the low 40s to mid 50s. Let me zoom out and try to make myself comfortable too. Hold on a second. Hold on a minute. Okay. All right. Back to business. Where are the gusts? Okay, so the gusts, there are plenty of gusts located throughout Florida and on the coastal side of Georgia and coastal South Carolina. When gusts are blowing up to 40 miles an hour, lower Mississippi Valley, around 40 to 50 miles an hour in some places. A few places in Texas in the center part of the state, up to 30 miles per hour in gusts. But mostly because of some storms that are ongoing right now, folks. Up to 30 miles an hour of gusts in the northern plains. But nothing there, no storms there, just so you know. But throughout places in the west, though, in the Pacific Northwest, a lot of coastal winds, gusts, they're blowing just right around 60 to 80 miles an hour in some places. And then once you go north of Reno, they're blowing around up to 70 miles an hour in gusts. In south of Reno, in the Sierra Nevadas, they're blowing around 50 to 70 miles an hour. In the central Idaho, southwestern Montana, all the way to eastern Wyoming, many of the winds do blow at around 40 to 60 miles an hour, maybe a little higher in a few places in gusts. Now let's take a look where the humidity is that indicates storms or any place that has overcast conditions, at the surface at least. A lot of humidity in the lower Mississippi Valley, Texas, and the southern plains, and a lot of moisture throughout much of the west coast, from San Francisco all the way to Seattle, and as well as the interior parts of the west, though, like the Pacific Northwest, like Spokane, Idaho, and northwestern Montana. A little bit of moisture that's located in the Florida Keys and the busy parts of South Florida. Rainfall accumulation. Let's start off with what's going to happen in the next 24 hours. Maine is only going to get like no more than a quarter inch of rain in some places, but in this lower Mississippi Valley, eastern Texas, they could get as much as about around 2 to 4 inches of rain, but specifically in places like southern Louisiana and southern Mississippi, they could, hold on a minute. Never mind. They could get as much as about 6 to 8 inches of rain in localized areas, northwestern Mississippi and far western Tennessee. They could receive just about as much as up to 6 inches of, about up to 4 to 6 inches of rain there. In the Pacific Northwest, though, on the coastal side, they could get as much as up to 4 inches of rain. Locally heavier amounts could happen. But you go in the interior parts like Idaho and western Montana, they could get as much as up to 2 inches of rain there, as well as just located on the northern part of the Sierra Nevadas and northern Nevada as well, and southern Oregon. And let's see what we got for a new snowpack in the next 24 hours. A 3-day one is coming up at around 7 o'clock. It is 6:31 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Welcome to the stream. For those of you just tuning in, this is Marlon here. This is actually, even though we'll get to Minecraft in about half an hour, and it'll be episode 85, but right now we gotta talk about the weather, and it'll be another 30 minutes though. Let's hang on tight, folks. Unless if you guys want me to talk about the weather in your area, that would be great. We can receive just about as much as up to 2 feet, or maybe up to 2.5 feet